On August 28, 1955, 14-year-old Emmit Till was brutally murdered by a group of men and Klan members. He was beaten to the point of being unrecognizable, and all that was used to identify him was a ring on his pinky finger that his mother gave him. In honor of Black History Month, I had chosen to pay homage to some people who were civil rights martyrs and the impact that their story had in shaping the world today. Today I'm going to be expressing Emmit Till's story through the lens of his mother, who had the courage to go public with the vile acts that had been happening to her son, and open the world's eyes to the racial brutality that was occurring. So, without further ado, I present to you my poem, The Ring You Lost, the Ring I Gained. I gave you this ring, a ring to hold my heart. I gave you this ring so we would never be too far apart. I kissed your chubby face as you boarded with a smile. That chubby face I could no longer see over the results of their hostile. Before you departed, I told you how to act. I told you what to say. I told you what to be. Because I knew that if I didn't, you would be hanging from a tree. You responded, anxiously excited with a firm, "Yes, Mom," as you begged and begged me, and I gave in. And prayed that I wouldn't see what happened just last week in Tennessee. I gave you this ring, a ring to hold my heart. I gave you this ring so we would never be too far apart. Our calls were short, but I could hear in your voice that you loved it there, being able to be with your boys. I knew that you were causing trouble, making lots of noise, but I reminded you where you are. Others like you have been strung up for less and to lower your voice. August 28th, 1955. I gave you that ring, a ring to hold my heart. I gave you that ring so we would never be too far apart. But that ring is all I have. All I have left from my boy, all that was left for me to know was my boy. Those men dragged him out of his bed to torture him all night in some shed. Beaten, bludgeoned, bloody, broken is all I see. All that was left for me to see in the Tallahatchie River of my boy. When I wailed over his deformed body, I cried out and asked, "Why did they do this to my boy?" They responded that it was all over some mist noise. That when he had asked for some bubble gum, the woman thought he said baby. The woman cried out in fear, yelling to everyone everywhere of the little black boy from Chicago that dared to step foot in here. They said he didn't know how to act or be poised, so they needed to teach him a lesson that would impact my boy. That day, they could not silence my voice. As I stood looking over the remains of my boy, I showed the world what had just occurred. I showed the world a message that could not be deterred. The front page of every newspaper there plastered with pictures of my boy. When these things were happening, we were all asleep. When the cousin in Tennessee got lynched like a piece of meat, we were all asleep. All thanking God and praying, at least it was not me. I am not asleep anymore. We cannot be asleep anymore. They cannot litter our sons' bodies all over the world like the Corps and expect us not to stand up in uproar. I gave you this ring, a ring to hold my heart. I gave you this ring so we would never be too far apart. I am not asleep anymore. Wake up! Because this is just the start of the war. The war for equality and for freedom and for all the sons of the world. We fight, we stay awake until this pain is no longer observed.